And here we are now down in the marina, and here's the Little Mermaid, a very, very popular tourist destination in her own right. Well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Here we are now. It's Ray and Sue's travel channel, and it's day 8 of our 11-day cruise around Scandinavia. And today we're in wonderful Copenhagen. And today, sun is shining. It looks a lovely day, reasonably warm, and we're going to be going off today and exploring Copenhagen. May involve some form of transportation like a bus tour or something like that, but we'll see what it has to offer when we get there. So stay tuned, and if this is the sort of content that you like, then there's lots more on the channel, on Ray and Sue's travel channel, so give that your consideration, and it's free to subscribe. So stay with us as we go off today in Copenhagen. And on the dockside, a relatively small arrivals area here in Copenhagen. Of course, you'll be able to get yourself a taxi and also hop on hop off bus tour, and I'm sure there are transfers into the city as well laid on by the cruise line. So not much to see. There's of course a number of coaches up in the far right of your picture now, picking up customers for their excursions, and I'm sure other information when we get there. So we're going to go off, as I said, and we're going to explore Copenhagen. Stay with us, and we hope you enjoy the tour. Okay, so welcome back now, everybody. Here we are now in beautiful Copenhagen, and we got off board and we've elected to do the hop on hop off bus tour. It seemed quite reasonable. It's 30 euros for a 24-hour pass, and if you were lucky enough to have done a bus tour with that particular company in Stockholm, then you got a 10% discount, so it's 27 euros for us. And what it does is it picks you up from the port, and it shuttles you down to this area, lovely area with some fantastic architecture and wonderful statues that we'll have a little look at in a minute. And that's the sort of staging post, really. Stop number 12, and all of the tour buses and various coaches and the like are all here. So you come down to stop number 12, you get off, and then the bus comes for the regular route. You can also get a boat tour of wonderful Copenhagen as well, and that would be an add-on, so that's another 8 euros if you want to get the boat tour. And all in all, quite a reasonable price. So 35 euros for us would be 38 euros for someone that hadn't done a tour in Stockholm. And a wonderful marina, and a beautiful outlook out to sea, and we expect to see a lot more of Copenhagen shortly, so stay tuned. And here's that wonderful statue, looking out for sailors that would go to sea, I'm sure, and in recognition of some of those sailors that perhaps have not returned. Isn't it lovely? And so the company we're with today is the Red Sightseeing Hop On Hop Off bus company. We also use them in Stockholm as well. And as I mentioned, this is just a staging point for the regular bus service around the route. And so along will come the next bus, which you get on, and then you come back to stop number 12 when you have you've finished. And so here we are now, everybody. This is stop number 20 on our red hop on hop off bus ride, and here we are now in the King's Garden, which looks extremely well looked after and wonderfully presented. And we're going to have a nice little walk around, see what flora and fauna we can see, and share it with you. Isn't that lovely? And the King's Garden is a really well maintained area and a really pleasant environment in a fairly built up area surrounding it, with wonderful little tree lined avenues, nice place for the little ones to play, and a nice little courtyard here with a little cafe in there so you can get yourself some refreshment, and a wonderful little courtyard here with some fantastic sculptures and a nice backdrop and a lovely place to sit and relax. Isn't this lovely? And a park big enough to have a lovely tree lined courtyard like this. Sadly, our house isn't big enough to be able to have one of these. Nevertheless, a wonderful environment and a simply stunning house in the grounds, which we will go over and take a closer look in a little while. How lovely is that? And as we turn the corner, of course, a much closer view of the house itself, and looks like it has a little moat around it as well. So here we are now, just closer to the house and the beautiful moat, and I know this will break lots of people's hearts, and that is the wonderful array of carp that are resident in the moat. How lovely is that? And a simply stunning part of the garden, all immaculately looked after. Wonderful roses and a variety of other plants, all overshadowed by this simply stunning house. I'd call it a castle. And as we go still further in the rose garden, we can see this fantastic statue of one of the previous queens of Denmark. Isn't that lovely? And of course, my queen is in the background, Disclosu from Rain's Travel Channel, and a further look down the rose garden itself. Isn't that lovely? And here another shot of the castle here in King's Garden, and a lovely view of the outside of the castle itself. Quite busy. It's about an hour wait to get in to actually see the inside, so we're not going to do that today. But when you come to Copenhagen, here's the lovely royal castle that you can go and see. And another beautiful view of the King's Castle, and of course the appropriate level of security to look after it. In beautiful grounds and a stunning outlook. And our friends, the geese, are here, along with the carp in the moat. How lovely is that? And to the rear of the castle itself, again more beautiful facades and wonderful building, and of course another guard and some more lovely gardens, and by the looks over in the distance some of the houses that are used by the military to take care of this wonderful place. How lovely is that? And again, from the last corner of the building, a stunning little view. So that was the King's Garden and the castle. Nijkassen Glittertech Museum. So welcome back everybody, here we are now. This is stop number 9 and 10 on our hop on hop off bus tour, and this is the Amalian Palace and the Gafalian waterfront, and I just thought I would share with you this wonderful built environment around the estuary. And we're going to take a detailed look at the palace in a little while, but we thought we would just share with you. This is where the royal yacht for the King and Queen of Denmark usually resides, but it's not here obviously. It's obviously out on official duties. And there's some wonderful looking sculptures here. I'll take a closer look in a little while, and some nice waterfront cafes that you may well be interested in visiting when you're here, and an interesting looking bridge that you can walk across towards the palace itself. And again, a lovely built environment. Stay tuned. So here we are still at the Amalienborg Palace, and there's this wonderful fountain of absolutely wonderful design, and of course not as good as the Trevi fountain in Rome, but nevertheless a lovely piece of sculptural work and fine water engineering. How lovely is that? And here is a wonderful Anglican church here in our port, and this is St Albans Church. It's an Anglican church modelled very much on Anglican churches that you might see in the UK. How lovely is that? And this wonderful sculpture and this fantastic fountain continues on the back, on the rear. How lovely is that? And our little walk around Copenhagen today continues. And of course we're down by one of the many marinas now, and thought we would share some of that with you. And here's the pier where the royal yacht is usually moored, but of course their majesties are no doubt out on official business. And a wonderful little entrance to this little water park that there is around and about. So let's go and have a little look to see what we can find. And from the little walkway above the main buildings, an absolutely fantastic view across the waterway and the marina. Isn't that lovely? And here we are now down in the marina, and here's the Little Mermaid, a very popular tourist destination in her own right. Okay, and so once you've seen the Little Mermaid, it brings you very conveniently back to this spot, which is stop number 12 on the hop on hop off bus, and where you get the transfer back to the cruise ship terminal. So really easy to do, a good price at 27 or 30 euros per person for the day, and you get to see lots of this beautiful city. So we hope that's been useful for you, and stay tuned as we make our way back to the cruise ship here in Copenhagen. And alongside the Little Mermaid at stop number 12 for the bus, you can also get the hop on hop off boat, which is just in front of us in the middle of the shot now, and this wonderful marina. Isn't that lovely? So a lovely little marina, lots of tall ships and little small ships and personal watercraft, etc. Speedboats and yachts. Okay, so here we are now back in the port, and we've just got off of the red bus. This is the red bus here, hop on hop off red bus, and it costs us 27 euros today because we had a 10% discount from Stockholm in Sweden. We're getting back on the Celebrity Apex now, and we've had a lovely day, and we hope you've enjoyed the footage. Now, here's another red bus here. It's City Sightseeing, and we usually use that brand in the major cities around Europe. But they were more expensive today. If you wanted to do the single route, that was 33 euros compared to 30 with the red bus company, and of course with our discount it was only 27. So bear that in mind when you come to Copenhagen, that you can get some cheaper options, and of course there are local buses that will take you into the main town centre, into the city centre. None around here now because everybody's getting back on board, but it's been a lovely day here in Copenhagen. We've really enjoyed it. There's some outstanding buildings and places of interest to see, a fantastic commitment to the environment and being CO2 free by 2025. Thousands upon thousands of bikes around, and lots of individuals really committed to net zero, which is fantastic to see. You don't see that in every country. Anyways, so here we are now back in the port, and we're going to go back into the terminal and get back on board the wonderful Celebrity Apex. And so we're in Terminal 2 today, and of course we've been off on our hop on hop off bus ride, and we're going to go through now back into the ship, and our friends here will give us a nice refreshing drink and perhaps a cold towel. And in the terminal, I'm sure there'll be some duty free, but not for us today. And so we hope you've enjoyed today's video, and if you have, consider liking and subscribing to Ray and Sue's Travel channel. And if we can ask you for any comments or any questions down below, then please put them down below in the video. We'll do our level best to come back to you with an answer. So that has been Copenhagen. This has been Ray and Sue's Travel channel on the beautiful Celebrity Apex. So we hope you've enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more, then check out our channel, Ray and Sue's Travel channel, where you'll find a multitude of different videos covering ship tours, port tours, and offering up tips and advice. You'll also find individual playlists where you can centre in on a specific ship or a specific itinerary. And consider liking and subscribing to Ray and Sue's Travel channel. It's free, and there's not a lot free these days, is there? Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye.